the struggle, in a certain way, is almost built into the very nature of being an innovator. Because if you're a revolutionary thinker, then by definition, you have ideas that nobody's thought of before. And so you're going against the entrenched ways of doing things. If you invent the airplane, you better expect that lots of people are going to go, if God had intended man to fly, he'd have given him wings. You know, if you one of the first guys to build skyscrapers, you better expect people, 10 stories, 50 or 100, when they're unused to anything more than 2 stories, they're going to be afraid. It's unfamiliar. It's scary. It blows in the wind. You know, people are going to resist it. They're going to be afraid of it. And if you have a revolutionary new philosophy like Ayn Rand dramatizes in Atlas Shrugged, you would expect it's going to take a very long time for the new ideas to catch on. It's only now, 50 years after the publication of Atlas Shrugged, it's only now that you're seeing objectivism, Ayn Rand's philosophy, start to be accepted in the philosophy departments in the academy, start to be studied in the universities, at programs at University of Pittsburgh, University of Texas, you know, top philosophy programs like that. And even now, think about this, 50 years after the publication of Atlas Shrugged, 64 years after the publication of The Fountainhead, the English departments still don't study Ayn Rand. Isn't that interesting? The greatest novelist in history, and it's the English departments who will be the last to recognize Ayn Rand's merit. Karen could tell you about that as a literature major at NYU. So it's almost built into the very nature of being an innovator. If you're especially, and I think the grander the scale, and the more of a genius you are, the grander the scale is, the more the struggle is going to be. Because that means the more fundamentally you're changing the ideas and the principles and the methods of human society. And consequently, the more fundamental you are, the more people will cling to their old ways of looking at the world and their old ways of doing things. The Fountainhead is a love poem, guys, and it's got to be read as such. It's an ode. It's a love poem to the innovative minds who've carried us on their backs and who have benefited us enormously and have been generally made to suffer at the hands of the very members of society who will benefit the most. I ask my students all the time, what's the meaning of the title? I mean, sometimes you get a great work of literature and the title doesn't mean anything. Macbeth is a great play about power lusting, but it's just the title is the name of the main character. But sometimes the title means something. The Fountainhead gives us the thematic essence of it. Now, of course, generally, a lot of times my students will just look at me blankly, and I'll ask them, well, what does the word mean? And they'll continue to look at me blankly. I say, dictionary.com, you know, I mean, the word Fountainhead, of course, means original source, origin. And so with explorers will search for the fountainhead of a river, where the river arises high up in the mountains. And the title of the Fountainhead means what's the original source of human progress and prosperity. And the original source of human progress and prosperity, Ayn Rand dramatizes here, is the independent thinking mind. The mind that does not conform, that does not kowtow to society. So whether you're in philosophy, like Socrates, who was executed for his troubles, whether you're in science, like Galileo, who was threatened with torture by the Inquisition for his troubles, whether you're in morality, like Martin Luther King and the leaders of the civil rights movement who were beaten, in some cases murdered, for their troubles. Or whether you're in philosophy and literature like Ayn Rand, who was scorned and shunned and denounced for her troubles. Regardless of what field you are in, if you have new ideas, new ways of doing things, new methods, new products, that will in fact enormously improve human life, you can expect social opposition. Hopefully not execution, as in Socrates' case, but but still, even in a free country, you can expect opposition. So, I think after we take a break, we can finish up with this point, but certainly one important level of meaning in this story is the story of Henry Cameron, the story of Howard Roark, the story of innovative thinkers against the entrenched beliefs of a conservative society. So let's take 10.